In the right corner of the ring, the head of the Wagner group Yevgeny Prigozhin and the head of Chechnya Ramzan Kadyrov. In the left, the Russian Ministry of Defense. The conflict in Putin's circle has gone public. Prigozhin and Kadyrov criticized the leadership of the Ministry of Defense for defeats at the front. In particular, they accused General Alexander Lapin, commander of the occupation group Center, of surrendering a number of cities and undeserved awards.
It's not a shame that Lapin is mediocre, but the fact that he is covered at the top by the leaders in the general staff. If I had my way, I would have demoted Lapin to the rank of private, would have deprived him of his awards and, with a machine gun in his hands, would have sent him to the front lines to wash away his shame with blood. Ramzan Kadyrov, head of Chechnya, on Telegram. And this, by the way, is not very good for Putin, because it complements this picture in the sense that Putin's man Shoigu does not manage much. It turns out like this, but Shoigu is still a person who is strongly associated with Putin. This is a person who has a rating. Putin thereby strengthens these two informal, more precisely, partly formal leaders, Kadyrov and Prigozhin, who are behaving themselves very informally.
The first round of confrontation ended with a score of 1-0 in favor of the Prigozhin-Kadyrov group. Lapin was removed from his position and allegedly sent on a 3-week vacation. Another general, Alexander Linkov, was temporarily appointed in his place.
This means the loss of the state's monopoly on violence. The state must not give up this monopoly, otherwise the informal sector begins to dominate when it dominates the sphere of violence. This is a very piquant situation. In this case, if this is, as it were, Putin's strategy, then again he is a bad strategist, as always everywhere, if this is tactics. But then he still needs to somehow get out of this situation, and where to put exactly this Prigozhin at the moment he is no longer needed.
Prigozhin and Kadyrov criticized the Ministry of Defense not because they care about successes at the front. After all, they themselves cannot boast on this. The Wagner group has been unsuccessfully assaulting Bakhmut for 4 months already, and the Kadyrov's troops are more effective in TikTok. The real goal is to raise his own status and influence with the Kremlin hierarchy, or maybe even to lead it.
They want to get power. These are the people who have power. According to various estimates, Kadyrov's army may be from 20 to 30,000, those loyal to him. Prigozhin has even more. In fact, he is a parallel structure. An army structure has a media resource. Whether they succeed or not is another question. Because after all, the main players in Russia remain the Federal Security Service, the army remains.
Experts note that the change in the balance of power and the conflicts of the Russian elites undermine the stability of Putin's power. Long-term stability due to the monolithic vertical begins to fall apart, and military defeats accelerate this process. Putin, who started the war to expand power, risks losing it in the end. Reported by Roman Smoler, Vasyl Panasyuk, UATV News.